Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be discussing, swatching, and doing a look of the new Doodles by the Bunny X Gourmande Girls Nightshade Palette. This is what this sucker looks like. But first, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this from me on this channel, and definitely do turn on the notifications so you do not miss any of my future videos that I have coming up. Alright, let's roll on in and get started. So first things first, just a little bit about this palette. It does retail for $54.99 on their site. I believe, as far as I know, it's just on their site. It may be other places, not 100% sure. So I do apologize about that. I do know that a lot of creators do have 10% off discount codes, so definitely you can search for that. Definitely get that 10% off if you are curious about picking up this palette. I'm just going to go ahead and read the product description from their website. So, a summer take on all things spooky, our Nightshade palette is the second in our spooky series of collaborations with Doodles by the Bunny. Embracing the true spirit of the poisonous nightshade plant, you will find an array of dreamy, hypnotic duochromes and pigmented blendable mattes arranged in a unique and stunning color story. Embrace the shadows and find beauty in the extraordinary. The most interesting plants grow in the shade. This palette is just a really interesting color story. I really do want to get their spooky one in the future. Still have not been fully decided, especially because, the price is I mean, for myself as a person who's trying to be more on a budget, $54.99 is still kind of high, but I do understand that it is an indie brand, so it is going to cost more, and the formula does also cost, a bit more. Jumping in for some swatches, sadly, there were no, shade descriptions on their actual site, so your colorblind girlie is just gonna do her best to describe to you what I think each of these shades are. Lastly, I'm not super familiar with what makes something duochrome. I get the gist, I guess, of that flipping from the shade, but kind of as just mentioned a second ago, I am colorblind, so some colors I may not see as well, and I also struggle with when it has that light reflection. Is that, the actual shift, or is that just kind of the shine, if that makes sense? But anyways, okay, so let's just jump in with some swatches. So first shade we have up is Enchanters. So it to me looks like a white shimmer in the pan, and then when swatched, it takes on a dreamy duochrome of purple and pink, more metallic and not so sparkly. Moving on, so Bittersweet, so to me looks like an acid green. Upon playing with this shade, it does take on more of a yellow shade in my opinion, so just keep that in mind. Moving on over, we have Hypnotic, which is a purple duochrome that to me has a silver kind of slash champagne gold flip. Moving on from that, we have Henbane, which to me looks to be a grass green. Next up, we have the shade Poisonous, which looks like a smoky purple duochrome. Definitely some gray in there. I would really think it'd be super pretty for a smoky eye or just any kind of purple, but I really like the grungy tones with that shade. Moving on, Deadly is a mid-toned gray shade. After that, we have Night Fury, which is a deep gray plum duochrome. Moving on to the second row, we have Belladonna, which looks like a lavender. We have Dream Shade, which is a super metallic lavender with some silver duochrome. Nightshade is a medium purple. Flowering is a bright green shift. Definitely also has some yellow in there as well. Woody is a deep plum purple. Hellbore is a rich mid to deep green, more metallic finish, so not so sparkly as those other sparkle shades. And lastly, Black Knight, which looks to be a deep black. Alright, so let's roll on in with the eyeshadow tutorial. So starting out, I just have a thin layer of the Milani eyeshadow primer just all over my eyelids. I'm going to dip in with this large blending brush from Colored Rain in to the shade Bittersweet. And I'm just going to start tapping that on to the first third of the eye and softening it in as we go. Let me not spend forever here doing that. I'm going to go ahead and take in the same brush, dip into the shade Henbane. I think I'm going to take a little bit more flowering, just kind of out, because I'm going to use the black And I know that I don't want, like, such intensity. Just wiping off that same brush, I am going to dip a bit more in with Bittersweet to take that along the brow bone. I'm thinking, what do I want to use for the outer corner? Let's use this one. So this is another Colored Rain small blending brush. Dipping in with the black shade Black Knight. I'm just going to take it on like the outer third. But I'm going to stamp along the edges just to help it start blending in with that green. I kind of do it at a bit of an angle, just to help, for one, to almost create a deeper green shade, and then as well have it be able to blend in easier. So with that same small blending brush, I'm just gonna wipe that off, dipping in with a bit more of Henbane. Start to soften the edges of the black. As we're just lightly doing this, we're creating that in-between darker green shade and helping with that transition. I'm feeling like the blending might not look perfect for right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump in with the shimmers just because a lot of times I do with makeup and I feel like it's just a really great rule of thumb. Sorry, I just realized my camera might be like way over. But it is a really good rule of thumb to just kind of take a break, apply other products if needed, and then come back. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. So I'm gonna dip in with, is it Hellebore or Hellebore? That darker green shimmer shade. Just taking my finger, and I'm going to start to tap that in that middle to slight outer edge. Taking my other finger if needed, just to tap over it and soften it into the black. So pretty, oh my lord. Sorry, I'm not trying to be like dramatic, but that's really pretty. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I really like that. Okay, going in with the shade Flowering, which I did see in a comment on Instagram that this seems to be, oopsie, the like fan favorite shade. A lot of people are really liking this shade, and I definitely do agree. This shade is literally magic. It is so sparkly. That's one thing, if I did not mention earlier, I'm obsessed with the fact that every shimmer in this, oh my god, that's so pretty. Every shimmer in this palette is like good. Like, I don't know if anybody feels the way that I do, but in other palettes, there'll be like a shade that's, it's like a shimmer, but it's really mellow, which I think that if you want that and like that, you know, I think that's great. And I guess I feel that they do that sometimes for, you know, the people who like that, but the unfortunate part is that shade, at least for me, just tends to be wasted because I want a more, you know, standout, sparkly kind of shade. As you can see with this, this is, oh my god. I mean, yes. Okay. I'm obsessed. This is looking so freaking good. This is a Sonia G Crease 2 brush with a little bit more of Henbane. Just a little bit. Just to work into the crease. Sometimes I will like to go over the shimmers just slightly to, for one, kind of soften that like edge. I've been really liking that kind of look, just for the shimmer to kind of fade up a little higher. I just think it looks really pretty. Yes. I think that looks so good. Oh my lord. So moving on to the lower lash line, I already do have a little bit of the Milani primer underneath there as well. I'm just going to go ahead and replicate the same shades that I have on the bottom, or on top onto the bottom. If you are curious, I'm just using this little e.l.f. eye crease brush. It's like their version of a pencil brush. So to finish up the look, I just thought it would be fun to go in with a little bit of, or two of the shades used as blush and highlighter. So I did go back in with the shade Bittersweet as just a fun little blush. I've just been experimenting with like brightish kind of shades like this, and I think it looks kind of cool. And then I did take the shade Flowering as my highlighter, and I think it actually turned out really neat. Just some final thoughts. I really do actually super love this product for a brand that I've never really, like, I've heard of them, but I've been very on the fence about. I am like completely off the fence now. This brand is good. At least for this palette, it's making me want to get their other palettes that they have. It's making me have a good trust of their formula. None of the shades to me were shades that I was like, nah, I'm not really sure about. They're all shades that I'm very excited to use. Oh, I did not mention this, and I meant to mention this. So definitely make sure to check out my Instagram. I will be posting other looks that I've done with this palette. I did already post one, so my Instagram will be linked down in the description box. But yeah, I should be posting other looks throughout the week and time. There might even be more looks already up there by the time that I post this video. So yes, okay, so this is going to be the end of today's video. Make sure to give me a like if you have not already liked this. Of course, if you did enjoy this video and liked it, definitely subscribe for more content like this. Turn on your notifications and all of that. And I just hope that you have a great rest of your day. I will see you in my next one. Okay, bye.